This is how I'm turning just $50 a month into over $120,000. And the crazy part? You can do this too. Now I already know what you're thinking. Yeah, right. Another finance guy promising something unrealistic. And honestly, that's fair, because most of what you see online is fake. Get-rich-quick schemes, secret strategies, overnight success stories. But this is the complete opposite. This is a get-rich-slow strategy, and that's exactly why it works. Here's the thing. Most people believe building wealth has to be complicated. They think you need a high-income, perfect timing, or some special knowledge. But what if none of that is true? What if the real advantage isn't money, but time, consistency, and patience? In this video, I'm going to show you the exact math behind how a small amount of money, like $50 a month, can turn into something life-changing. No tricks, no guessing, just simple math. And one powerful concept: compound interest. And once you understand this, you'll never look at money the same way again. Before we even talk about numbers, we need to talk about something more important. The biggest lie that keeps people broke. I don't have enough money to invest. I used to believe this too. I had bills, rent, expenses that never seemed to end. And every month felt like survival. You know that feeling, right? Checking your bank balance before buying something simple. Doing mental math just to afford a night out. That constant stress in the background. And because of that, investing felt impossible. It felt like something only rich people do. People with extra money, people who already made it. But here's the truth nobody tells you. That's exactly how people stay stuck. Because when you believe you don't have enough, you never even start. And that small amount you do have, you spend it. Coffee here, subscription there, random purchases. Because in your mind, $50 doesn't matter anyway. But here's what most people don't realize. That $50 is not useless. It's the beginning. The problem isn't your income. The problem is your belief. Because once you change that, everything changes. You stop thinking like someone who is broke, and you start acting like someone who is building wealth. And that's where this whole journey actually begins. My turning point didn't come from a course or some rich mentor. It came from something very simple. I was just listening to a podcast, and honestly, I wasn't even paying full attention. But then I heard one line that completely changed how I think about money. He said, "Getting rich isn't about earning more. It's about saving consistently and giving it time." And then he mentioned something crazy. He said you could invest just $50 a month and still build serious wealth. And that instantly caught my attention. Because $50, that was my number. But instead of getting excited, I got skeptical. I thought, yeah, right? If it was that easy, everyone would be rich. It sounded like one of those fake promises, too simple to be true. So I did what most people do. I tried to prove it wrong. I started searching why investing doesn't work, why compound interest is overrated. I wanted someone to tell me, relax, this is all fake. But something strange happened. The more I searched, the more I found the opposite. I kept seeing the same message again and again. Start small, stay consistent. Give it time, no hype, no shortcuts, just simple, boring investing. And that's when it hit me. Maybe the problem isn't the strategy. Maybe the problem is how we think, because we've been trained to believe fast money is real. Slow money is useless, but in reality, it's the opposite. And this is where everything started to change for me. So now let's talk about the actual system. The thing that turns small money into big money. And it comes down to just two simple ideas. The first one is compound interest. Here's the thing. Compound interest means your money makes money. And then that money starts making more money. At first, it feels slow, almost pointless. You invest $50, you earn a few dollars, nothing exciting. But over time, something changes. That small amount starts growing faster and faster and faster. It's like a snowball. At the beginning, it barely grows. But once it gets bigger, it starts growing on its own. And this is the part most people miss. The real growth doesn't happen in the beginning. It happens later. Let me show you something simple. Two people start investing. One starts early, the other starts late. Even if the second person invests more money, the first person can still end up richer. Why? Because time matters more than money. That's how powerful compounding is. Now, the second part is where you invest, and this is where people overcomplicate everything. You don't need to pick stocks. You don't need to guess the market. Instead, you invest in something called an index fund. And here's what that means. You're not investing in one company. You're investing in hundreds of companies at once. Big companies, growing companies, all together. So even if one fails, your overall investment keeps growing. This gives you two huge advantages: lower risk, consistent long-term growth. And here's something most people don't realize. Even professional investors struggle to beat this. So instead of trying to be smart, you just follow the system. Invest regularly. Stay consistent. Let time do the work. That's it. That's the whole strategy. And once you understand this, you realize something powerful. You don't need a lot of money to start. You just need to start. So understanding all this is one thing. But actually starting? That's the hardest part. I still remember my first investment. I opened the app, typed in the amount, just $50, and I just sat there, staring at the screen. It sounds small, but it felt huge because it wasn't about the money. It was about the decision. I hit buy, and just like that, everything changed. No fireworks, no instant results, but I was no longer someone who thinks about investing. I became someone who actually does it. And here's the truth nobody tells you. The beginning is slow, really slow. After 1 year, you barely see growth. After a few years, it still feels small. And this is where most people quit because they expect fast results. But real wealth doesn't work like that. Then something interesting happens. Time passes, and your money starts growing faster. At one point, your investments start earning more than what you're putting in. That's when it clicks. Now let's talk about what can destroy all of this. Mistake number 1, thinking small money doesn't matter. That $50 feels useless, so you spend it. But that's the biggest mistake, because small money plus time is exactly what builds wealth. Mistake number 2, starting and stopping. People get motivated, start investing, and then stop after a few months. That terminated everything, because this only works with consistency. Mistake number 3, panic during market drops. Market goes down, people panic and sell. But that's when you should stay in, because the market always recovers, and that's where real gains come from. Now here's the mindset shift. This isn't about saving money. This is about buying your future freedom. Every $50 you invest is one step closer to a life where you don't have to work. And yeah, this process is boring. No shortcuts, no excitement. But that's exactly why it works, because while everyone else is chasing fast money, you're building something real. And if you just stay consistent, this becomes inevitable. You don't need to be rich. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start and not stop, because $100,000 to $20,000 is not built overnight. It's built through small decisions, repeated over time. So here's my question for you. What's your first step? Are you going to start investing or keep waiting? If you're serious, comment invest below. Make it real. And if you want more simple, no BS strategies to build real wealth, subscribe, because we're just getting started.